Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Game Junk Podcast. This is episode 102, recording on Sunday, April 24th, 2022. My name is Frank.
My name is Sean.
And my name is Andrew.
And we're going to talk a bit about the... I don't even know how to brand this anymore. What are these things called? The MetaQuest Gaming Showcase 2022. And go over some of the huge moments there.
I can't even call this thing the MetaQuest. It just sounds weird to me. I still call it the Oculus. It's just bizarre.
And we'll talk a little bit of Star Wars news involving Amy Hennig and what we played, including Demeo, Sean and I getting back under the visor.
Oh, yeah.
Inspired by the Meta Showcase. Huck, you're back. You were on vacation all week. Everyone wants to know, how was it and how much gaming did you do on the beach?
The trip was excellent. Zero gaming. That's not totally true, though. I did do, like I was saying before, I did about 15 minutes of Suikoden on my Vita before the battery died because I forgot to charge it on the plane home. And that's about it. I played a little Bejeweled 2, on the plane.
On the flip phone?
No, on the little screen.
Oh, you can play it on the screen? Okay.
Yeah. So that's about all the gaming I did. I have no idea what this MetaQuest is. I have no idea what games are anymore. I know what real life is like, and it's great.
And I dipped into Horizon Worlds this week, too. And
although I did hear that it snowed here while I was gone, which was a great week to be away.
It's supposed to snow on Wednesday, potentially.
Oh, no.
Also new. Must be reported on. A&W Zero Sugar from the United States. A game changer for zero-calorie beverages. Whew. Forget room temp diet A&W. We are room temp A&W Zero Sugar, and it's delicious.
So what's the different sweetener? Stevia versus...
I don't know, but it's like real root beer. It's crazy. It's amazing.
Must be stevia. It's all the rage.
Okay, let's get into the MetaQuest Gaming Showcase 2022. And I'm really just going to run stuff down. And a lot of it was updates to big games. They had a sale relating to a lot of these games and the most popular games. I actually ended up buying about 4 or 5 things. I guess the big news is the Ghostbusters game, which we have to get Sean's opinion on.
So remember, if there's something strange in your neighborhood...
Oh, so that's what that clip was from. That makes so much more sense now.
Remember, if there's something strange in your neighborhood...
You had to bring Zook out for the big announcement.
Yeah, is that even the quote?
It is, but it's the intonation is insane.
The pacing is all wrong.
You have as many takes as you want in front of a green screen, and this.
So remember, if there's something strange in your neighborhood,
is the best you can do. I know it's like a thing that he's a robot or a cyborg or an alien, and I hate jumping on trends, but it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he had to come out at the end and kind of do the Steve Jobs just one more thing type deal. Yeah. And, I mean, I might have been a little more excited about this. I feel haven't there been 3 other Ghostbusters games announced in the last year? I feel there's a lot of Ghostbusters stuff happening, and a lot of them look not that great.
Yeah, there's that, but there's also, I'm pretty sure there's been a Ghostbusters, VR experience at, Rec Room and stuff like that. I haven't tried it. But, it's obviously ripe for VR, right? Whether it's the... Is it spectrometer? What are we calling it these days?
Spectrometer, yeah, I think so.
The traps, especially if they could get some kind of recognition from your foot and tracking on your foot. The actual pack, it's perfect for VR. The surprise elements, investigating things. It would be hard to screw this game up. That being said, the footage they showed felt very on rails. Didn't feel like much of a game. All the other stuff looked like games. It was game footage, but that one felt really tech demo-y and tease, because everything they said is going to be out this year, but I'm assuming not this one. So And then you get the sweet Ghostbusters logo with Oculus and controllers. What is Dan Aykroyd thinking about that?
Did you see, like, at the very end, the little epilogue when the woman who was hosting it, she walks out. She's like,
and then she gets into Ecto 1 with the
logo.
Ghostbusters logo with the Oculus. Oh yeah, you think I'm stopping the showcase before that happens? It's not over. You watch until the credits roll.
Yeah, that was. It definitely felt a little bit.
Huck's catching up now. Huck, it's at the very end of the show. We started with the end of the show first.
I know. I've raced. I'm trying to race through it. I'm watching it now. I'm a little confused by the person in the cat hat, or whatever, cat mask.
Or remember that customizable skins. I mean,
but yeah, I know when I'm busting ghosts, I definitely want some sort of fuzzy mask in front of my eyes so I can't see it. Well, that makes perfect sense.
The trend with like accessories and bling in games being ridiculous, I'm kind of done with that. I like contextual, thematic decorations on my characters. Unless the game is designed to be ridiculous.
But I mean, I guess we didn't specifically say this is a co-op game. That's kind of the big thing, is it's like a multiplayer VR Ghostbusters game, which
Zuckerberg knocked me out. I don't remember any of this. I was just,
well, I mean, it was very much just an announcement trailer. Like you said, there wasn't a whole lot to see, and I was not convinced that this is going to be an amazing game, but I guess I'm a little bit interested.
Okay, hang on. So I believe they're doing what all of us said not to do like a year and a half ago, which was do that stupid voiceover while they're playing. Like, oh, watch out, guys. Look out, hang on, look out, look out.
The sort of
not
fake
enjoyable
narration or whatever.
Yeah, and then at the end, the very end, the epilogue you guys were just talking about, she like comes back. And did you hear the clapping? And everyone's like, great job.
Yeah,
great job. Oh, you guys did a great job on that. Like, what? Why even put that in? Just have her walk off and do the thing with the car. Why even do that?
You got to show the real people behind the showcase,
Oh, my goodness. This is great. Yeah, I could go for it.
This has been an amazing show.
I'm a little disappointed. It was only 26 minutes here.
So I'm just looking at End Dreams is the developer of this game, and I don't see a list of games they've developed here. Like what have they worked on? Oh, that's right. They did Fracked was the most recent thing they did for PSVR, which was kind of cool, but like I couldn't handle the motion sickness. So
give them a chance. Like, don't write them off because they haven't made a good game before. Like, dude, you're harsh.
I was just curious, Frank. Curiosity.
Pedigree snob from developers.
Looking for something to talk about.
All right. Well, another big announcement, Resident Evil 4, The Mercenaries, because she said, ever since the first announcement, everyone has been asking, what about The Mercenaries? I know Sean he loves VR and Resident Evil so much. I don't even think he's bought this game, nor finished any other VR. Did you finish Resident Evil 7 in VR yet?
No, I did not.
Okay. But I thought this looked kind of neat. I like the trend that a lot of these Oculus games have long tails with DLC and seasons, and you buy it once and you're getting a bunch of content. So I did appreciate that. I thought it looked pretty good, but again, the perk of like having golden guns or big head mode and all that stuff is like, who cares? Like, although Sean, you probably love big head mode.
I do love big head mode, but I'd never played the Mercenaries. Like, what was the first game this came out for? I feel like it was like a 3DS game or something.
I think it was Revelations, the first Revelations game, I believe.
Yeah. Never played it. I'm not that interested in Resident Evil multiplayer, but as you said, I mean, to get it as a free extra, sure, that's kind of cool.
Let's fire off a couple non-needle movers right now. Beat Saber, new stuff coming. Not surprising. The game is making tons of cash. Why wouldn't they do more DLC? And it's mostly paid. Cities VR. which City Skylines in a VR, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't really care. Not into construction management games. Although I did, it seems like the new go-to thing, which I hadn't really experienced. It might be in lots of VR games. That's very effective. Is the wrist turn to see your inventories and stuff like that. In Demeo, when you want to see your cards, you just flip your wrist up, and it's really quick. And I noticed that in there. And the last non-needle mover, Ruins Magus, a big JRPG game. So,
yeah, I is that a known franchise or anything? Like, it seemed like it was a bigger deal than I was comprehending, but didn't mean much.
I had not heard of it before.
Yeah, I know nothing about it.
Just on the Cities VR thing, it's weird because there's another city builder VR game coming out for the Quest next month called Little Cities. And Cities VR is the one that's getting promoted like everywhere on the Oculus store and everything. But I mean, I don't know which one is actually better. I just seemed like that one has the marketing behind it. So
Cities VR comes out in 4 days. So
okay,
that one's coming out very soon. Let's throw one more non-needle mover in here. The Aspire 2. I didn't play the first Aspire. Usually I've heard of big VR games. I actually haven't heard of this one, so I was curious if either of you have played it or looked into it at all.
I've heard of it. That's about it. Like I always thought it was just a multiplayer game, but it looks like there is a campaign as well.
Yeah, it seemed to focus. They said it's a stealth game, but then the video showed like just guns blazing. And I don't know if this is a new feature that you can choose between different approaches. I actually thought it didn't look that great graphically. I was a little underwhelmed.
Aspire 2 does have an entirely separate co-op campaign.
Co-op campaign. He's in. Sean is in.
I mean, it's something, but yeah,
I mean,
not that
we
familiar
can
with it.
talk about the idea of co-op after playing Demeo. The microphone and the headset, it's really good on the Oculus.
Yeah, it worked pretty well. I was pretty impressed. Like I haven't tried anything that's more actiony yet, but Demeo, the experience was quite good.
And I popped into Horizon Worlds, and apparently my mic was muted, but another person came in, and I couldn't believe how they were talking to me, how clear their voice was. It was crazy.
Yeah, I tried it out as well, and just people kind of randomly talking. I was like I thought they were AI characters talking, like because of how clear the voice was. Yeah. And then eventually I realized, no, these are actual people. So that was kind of a weird experience.
It is impressive. The one Sean was hoping for and got was Moss Book 2. Obviously out on PSVR pretty recently, but it is coming to Quest 2. I started Moss again, the first one, Book 1, I guess, a couple days ago, and I'm going to try and beat it, but it's a good game. I'm still at the early stages. It's very slow introducing ideas, but I do like the camera perspective in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't finished Moss Book 1, but I think I'm pretty close to the end, so I'm going to try and finish it off soon. And I like it a lot, but it's a little bit slower paced, kind of a Zelda-esque, but it's more like your face is in this diorama world that you're moving this mouse through. And I've heard Book 2 adds new mechanics and things, so definitely we'll be picking up at some point, preferably on the Quest. We'll see.
I will say there was a moment early in the game that I'd played on PS, but I forgot about when the deer are there and they're still and you don't even notice them, and then the head pops on. Like, holy shit, this is amazing. Sweet, sweet deer. Absolutely love that. What else? Red Matter 2 had me a little intrigued to play the first one. This looked pretty good, and I really hadn't heard of the first, nor have I played it. Anyone check this one out?
Yeah, I have the first one on PSVR. There's like a handful of sort of like B-level VR games that I've heard good things about, probably picked them up, haven't tried them yet, and now they're all getting sequels. Like another one that recently there was a sequel is called Virtual Reality, and now part 2 just came out for the Quest. And then there's something else recently that I can't remember. Something else had a sequel. So it's like these games that, I guess were kind of like minor VR hits, but good enough to get a sequel. And I mean, they're not necessarily blockbuster games that are selling systems, but if you've heard of them and you've seen the positive reviews, then I'd say you're probably interested in them. And I gotta check this one out. It's kind of supposed to be more of a kind of a sci-fi puzzle type game on a Russian spaceship or something, space station, something like that.
Yeah, this one looked really good. I dug the vibe. Among Us coming to VR. I'm not huge on Among Us, but I think it's ideal for VR. And the idea of like looking through vents or having different perspectives, because the whole game is about observing and trying to catch people in the act of doing something. I think VR presents some pretty unique opportunities for that. So I would not I feel like the hype around Among Us has died down significantly. But I actually think this is a great way to present that game.
Yeah, I was thinking that, Among Us is kind of dead at this point. But then I saw the trailer for this and I thought, you know what, that is a great medium for it. And yeah, I think you're right. Like the idea that somebody's walking past you and they could be about to kill you. Like there's a little bit of tension like that in the original game, but I feel like in VR and sort of a first person perspective, that would be cool.
But I mean, having to actually look and only being able to look in one direction in front of you, it's obviously like a little different. Although I think if I remember correctly, I've barely played Among Us. Is there just certain spots where you can see into other rooms that are similar to that and you just get a fixed camera?
Yeah, there's like little surveillance.
Yeah. So I guess it's a bit like that, but also the potential for spatial audio, like hearing if someone's around you and having to turn around, like that wasn't there's no element of that in the original game. It's perfect for VR. I'm going to go on record, say Among Us VR will be on one of our top 10 games of the year.
Whoa. I mean,
whoa is right.
Wasn't thinking that, but I mean, I was thinking this could be like a potential system seller for the Quest.
You heard it here first. And if I have to put it on my list, if it's a piece of shit to make my prediction correct, I will. I don't care. Let's get Huck City involved. He's a Madden aficionado, and they had a new NFL game, NFL Pro Era. Can't say I love the name. Looked like a lot of first-person stuff. I think it only showcased quarterback stuff, like no other position. But
I think it said you could run the defense as well.
Okay, like
so
as a
you'd
linebacker.
be like a linebacker, yeah.
So I mean, I don't think it looks all that great, but Huck, what do you think about it?
Well, I mean, I just watched it briefly, and it looks pretty like stilted. All the animations are like kind of jerky, a lot more jerky than you'd think, which is kind of surprising. But I guess they are trying to animate, 22 people on the field at once, which is probably pretty taxing for VR. And
make the game, not my problem.
Yeah, so I don't know what I think about this. I mean, it was definitely giving me, whatever the 2K5 or 2K5 NFL game was, the last one that had the first-person quarterback view vibes, and the graphics pretty look similar to what I remember that game looking like 15 years ago. So, I don't know. I'm not totally sold on it. I guess I would think about trying it, but I don't know how they would do like scrambling quarterbacks. Like they feature Lamar Jackson, who is like one of the most scrambly quarterbacks in the game. And his whole game is running away from people, and that VR and like running while trying to like look around and throwing doesn't seem like it will work well for me, unless it's basically just gonna be like pocket throwing anyways. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see, I guess. I don't recall really loving, like, I love the idea of doing the quarterback vision, but I found it never really worked that great in 2K5. I can see it working better in VR, where you can kind of look around a lot easier with your head rather than with a right stick, which might make it a little more approachable. But overall, I'm not totally impressed, but I will probably check it out.
Yes or no question.
No.
In the footage, there was no face mask. Will there be a face mask mode where it's simulating trying to do the same things with the obstruction of a helmet or face mask?
No, they won't do that.
Oh, well, 100%. That will be.
0%.
Yeah, I mean, like, just the fact, I guess, that it's a licensed game is like, you know, they're taking VR seriously to some degree, and that's kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, even just like you look at the crowd, it looked like super like low res, like it just.
And just to be super picky, I just watched it again, and almost every throw is underthrown. Like, come on, you couldn't have got better footage where you actually like lead the receiver properly and make a good throw. Like, is this the best we're going to get? Is a whole bunch of underthrown balls? Come on, let's get real. Let's get someone who knows how to play the game and to record the footage at least, please.
Huck's pissed.
That's it. I'm out.
What else we got here? Chapter 2 for The Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners Retribution. I mean, I really need to play the first one. Everyone says it's one of the best VR games ever. I did do a little research while I was getting into VR, and I think it's pretty jumpy. So I don't know. I'm a little scared.
This was one of the first games I bought for the Oculus, and I still haven't played it. So I'm kind of the same.
Such a VR poser. I had to drag him into Demeo. Play some VR with me.
Hey, well, we'll talk about it, but like I was excited about that game, but I just didn't think I had anyone to play it with. So, you know,
dragged him into VR,
and I beat another VR game, which I'll be talking about. So I've been playing a little bit.
All right. I apologize, Sean. And finally, Bone Lab, Stress Level Zero's acclaimed Boneworks sequel. And I haven't played Boneworks. I know it's very popular. I think the first one is basically a gun simulator or something like that, from what I remember. This looks like some kind of weird physics-based sandbox or puzzle. I don't know. Wasn't doing much for me.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would say this was one of the ones I'm more excited about, but just based on, like, I haven't played Boneworks yet, and I have heard a lot of good things about it. And, you know, it's not Boneworks, they haven't released for the Quest. It's only for the Rift or on Steam VR. So I assume that this is kind of like scaled down a bit, something that will work for the Quest. But yeah, I think the original game
Boneworks is an experimental physics action puzzle shooter.
Yeah, so a lot of just anything in the world you can pick up and use as a weapon, I think, is kind of the deal. So
cool. Bones, man. All right, so that's pretty much the whole show.
This has been an amazing show.
Any other last thoughts?
No, that's about it. I mean, I don't know that there were any. I was hoping for some kind of big announcement. I guess the Ghostbusters one is pretty big, but
I forgot. They dropped a new virtual environment.
Huge.
That is huge. Definitely they're huge in terms of memory on my storage. I downloaded a bunch. I'm like, these gotta go. I'm maxing out to the point where I almost want to upgrade. VR is the biggest money sink of all time. I'm debating upgrading my storage and getting a new Quest that'll hold more games. And I play it once a year. What the fuck am I doing? There's just this allure of VR. It's an insatiable lust. It's buy. I think it's because the games are so cheap and they're always giving me $14 credits to buy stuff. I'm like, oh, I might as well buy it. They're giving me a credit. I'd be dumb not to use this credit. They got me hook, line, and sinker.
They know who they're dealing with.
Buy. That's all I do. Okay, so last bit of news we'll talk about. Amy Hennig's Star Wars game is apparently back in development. I guess I missed who is working on it. Because it used to be... It seems like it is taking some elements of Ragtag, which I think was the code name of the one at Visceral Games. It's at Skydance. Okay, pardon me. What's Skydance?
Skydance is a publisher, is it not?
They're a movie studio, and then this is kind of like their games arm, but I don't know what they've actually done so far.
Oh, its own... Is this... Okay, so I didn't even know this. Like, it's owned by the brother of Megan Ellison.
Yeah.
Who owns Annapurna.
Yeah, so she does more of like the weird indie stuff, and he does all the big blockbuster type stuff, at least in terms of movies. Yeah,
I definitely heard of Skydance as a movie production, but is this their first game? Have they announced other games?
Well, it looks like they did Walking Dead Saints and Sinners.
Oh,
but I saw the logos in the meta thing for one of the games, probably the VR 2, the Walking Dead 2. I thought I just saw that.
Sorry, there was Archangel in 2017 and Pwned in 2018.
Don't know what those are.
Pwned was huge. But, I mean, I'm excited for this game. I don't know how they got the rights to all the like pre-production stuff, or
I don't know.
It can't be that much unless it's just like taking me. I've said before, it's going to be, if she makes a Star Wars game, it will be the best Star Wars game ever made, because she's so good at isolating genre and what makes things what they are. It's basically Uncharted is taking what's great about Indiana Jones and putting it into a game. She will be able to, when she was dissecting Star Wars and turning it into gameplay or story, I guarantee she had great ideas for that. So you can't really like own her great ideas. I feel like the stuff that's going to come over is her ideas of how to make a Star Wars game.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are some unconfirmed reports out there that elements of the previously canceled game are going to be brought across. I just don't know. Like you said, like it's kind of a fine line, and I don't know if like Lucasfilm is involved in
ideas, system ideas. I don't think you could own the idea for a system. Like games copy other games' systems constantly.
Yeah, I would think it would be more like mechanics and stuff as opposed to story or characters or things. But the thing I was going to say is I think Lucasfilm is involved in both. Maybe Lucasfilm somehow owned whatever they created.
But isn't really that sure. Couldn't that just be the fact that Lucasfilm is allowing anyone to make a Star Wars game?
Yeah, I think that is the case. Like they kind of just oversee everything. So
yeah. So I'm really excited for this game. My prediction is it comes out probably after my death.
Okay.
Don't want to get too morbid here, but I think we're looking at least 6 years out on this one.
But I mean, there's a bunch of Star Wars stuff. Like we've got Fallen Order 2 in the works. We've got Star Wars Eclipse, which is the Quantic Dream game.
Isn't that one 2025 or 26 tentatively?
I don't know. It doesn't say here.
I thought I remember reading that at some point, that it's not coming out for a long time.
There's the Ubisoft open world one and a couple other things. There's like another Respawn first-person shooter that's untitled.
Has there been any rumors that the Star Wars Ubisoft game is taking the systems, either converting Beyond Good and Evil 2 or using the same dynamic sky and space systems that game had? I could easily see that being the case.
I don't know. It's using the Snowdrop engine, and it's the studio that worked on the Division games. That's kind of all we really know.
Or maybe they knew they were going to make I guess they didn't, because other studios weren't allowed to make Star Wars game when they announced Beyond Good and Evil. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's some reused technology there. But I mean, I think Amy Hennig's game, it's got it. Like the earliest it could come out is 2026, I think. I mean, my prediction is that it's going to come out whatever the new consoles come out, and they will double dip on the old consoles in that range somewhere.
I mean, I don't know if I think it's quite that far off, but I mean, they really announced nothing, so you got to assume it's still pretty early.
But it's Skydance has hardly made any games. It's not like they have legacy systems of stuff to use and
yeah, that's a good point.
Starting from scratch. Like this game is 4 years minimum out.
Yeah, we'll see.
No, I will definitely see, but I'm definitely right.
I mean, they could just hire a ton of people, but I don't know.
These are big games, and it's Star Wars, and expectations are high. If a sequel to Fallen Order is taking 3 years, how could an original game take less than 4?
Yeah, it's a good point.
All right. We're done with my good points. We're getting into what we played.
Huck, you want to talk Bejeweled?
I don't know. I got a couple pretty high scores. Yeah, that's about it. I don't know. I don't really have anything to add, unfortunately.
All right. Sean, should we talk Demeo?
Yeah, let's get into it.
You take the lead, bro.
I did watch a video of this while you guys were talking about it before. Is this just basically like Hero Quest in VR? Is that what this game is?
I've never played Hero Quest.
Okay.
My friends tried to make me play it in like grade 9, and I said, this game is stupid.
Yeah, so this game came out, I think it came out last year, and I remember seeing it on a lot of like best of the year lists as far as like best
I saw it on
VR
many
game.
like best VR game of the year.
Yeah. And so it is kind of like, playing a tabletop role-playing game with friends in VR. But, you're kind of sitting overlooking the board, and the board is essentially like alive. Like your characters are moving and animating, and there's enemies and stuff. And you can, move your character a certain number of squares, drop him on an enemy to attack. And then you have kind of cards in your hand that throughout the game you draw cards and they show up in your hand, and they're kind of like special abilities or spells that you have that you can use as well. And there's like 5 classes to choose from, and it's kind of like it's pretty simple and straightforward. But I thought there was actually a lot of strategy involved in terms of working.
Well, we had to communicate a lot. Like, what can you do? What can I do? I mean, it is just a board game, but it's very immersive, and the way you scale and rotate the board is very intuitive. It looks great. The card system is actually pretty effective. It's a little jank sometimes when I'm trying to move someone or play a card on a particular character, and I screwed up a couple times and didn't do what I wanted to do. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's one of those things where you can instantly think of like 5 other things that might make the game better, but I'm also kind of like, I feel like part of what they're trying to do was make something pretty simple that's easy to pick up and play. Like we were talking afterwards, like I thought there was a level up progression in the game where like as you acquire XP, you actually unlock new skills and things like that. But I think, and you said this last night, Frank, but I'm pretty sure you're right. It's just cosmetic stuff.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of, the whole thing is they want anybody to be able to come in and play with anybody else at any given time. They don't want some sort of imbalance because
how do you scale that or level it up?
Yeah.
I like the way the other players, or at least one player, I don't know what it's like with multiple, how they're represented in the world with like these kind of glasses to represent the headset. It was a lot of fun. It was long. Like I felt like one board was extremely long. I think Hero Quest was the same way.
I was actually going to ask how long it is.
You got to get this. We played for what, like 2 hours, Sean?
Yeah.
Both of our headsets ran out of battery at some point, and they were fully charged previously.
Yeah, but and it's like one of those things where it's like, your partner gets downed, you go and you heal them, bring them back. So there's a lot of that back and forth, and you kind of find things to heal yourself along the way, and it kind of, I don't know. I felt
Sean absolutely crushed it. We had our backs against the wall, like no health left. What was the name of that thing? The something mare?
Oh, Brookmare, something like that.
Brookmare, and Sean had this like scare card. What was it?
I think it was called War Cry.
War
Makes
Cry, and
all
he
the enemies free.
absolutely saved the day with his strategic thinking, and that's like good emergent gameplay. I'll never forget that for the rest of my life, Sean.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is I feel like in terms of the balancing, it kind of felt like a Left 4 Dead type situation where it's like we just got out by the skin of our teeth, and it was like kind of perfect.
Yeah,
and very memorable. So yeah,
I thought we were gonna die in the first 10 minutes. I'm like, we didn't. Like we're fucked here. Like, we were screwing up at the start. Like, well, this was fun. We're gonna be done, and then we made it out of that. It could have just been luck for us or how it played out, but there was this. What's the word? Like tension throughout the entire playthrough that was palpable.
Yeah, you can't see all the enemies that are on the board at first. So it's like as you get close to them, all of a sudden they pop out of the shadows, or you open a door and then you see there's like 10 enemies in there and you're like, oh shit.
I don't know how the game handles 2 versus 3 or 4 players in terms of, how enemies scale, or is it actual different? Like when we started, it was a book or a story we were entering. If there's different ones set up for a number of players. But yeah, it's great. I'd love to play it again. I'd love to get some more people to play too.
Yeah, and I guess it's worth mentioning there's a 2D PC version now as well, which if you purchase it on the Oculus store or on Steam, I think you get both copies. You get the VR and the...
Oh, there's a 2D version?
Yeah. So, if you don't have VR, you can jump in and play with people who have VR, apparently. But... And I guess the other thing, and we didn't mention this, but like you actually roll a die every time you attack. Like you pick it up and roll it on the board.
We need to bring that up. That's the worst part of the game.
Yeah, it feels like, we didn't check. Maybe there is a setting that you could just skip that and it does it automatically. But, it's kind of like a cool gimmick at first, but then after a while.
I would always be looking down at the board and like, what's happening? Nothing's happening. And then I'd lift my head up and, oh yeah, the dice is in front of me. Jesus. I'd grab it and drop it as quick as I can.
Yeah, but great
idea.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's like you obviously you can play it in 2D, but like in VR, I think it really works well.
Yeah, I'd be curious to try like Catan VR or something like that too. Could be fun.
Yeah.
I'll say I've been playing. I actually forget the title. Is it Kirby and the Forgotten Land?
I think that's it.
Yes, it is. And I played it initially and wasn't like super amazed by it or anything. But while I was watching playoff basketball, I kind of picked up the Switch and was messing around and fired it up again. And I really am enjoying the game. I mean, the thing with Kirby, and mouthful mode is included in this, is the idea of changing game modes. So you suck in a hat and it changes the way you play the game. And now they've expanded it with mouthful mode and these new gameplay modes with different controls. And I like all those things. I think it looks amazing. Like, it is a gorgeous game. But when it really picked up for me and felt like a Nintendo game is when they started adding the challenge stages, where it's like you just get a hat, you have a very specific, focused design idea, and there's a time bonus for doing it, which I went and did the time bonuses for everything. It's like, can I get really good at this new mode and start to understand? And it teaches you the intricacies of those different modes and alternate attacks. And then I felt like, okay, I'm I'm experimenting, and the base exploration in the levels, which is simple, became more fun. So this game has grown on me a lot, and I think I will continue playing it. It's a very good, albeit basic, 3D platformer.
Perfect for playoff basketball.
It really is. It was fun. And then I 100%ed the first world. Every hidden or optional Waddle Dee, every bonus time, I just annihilated this game. And I was also in the mood for something doable. Like, it was very doable for me to do that without being frustrated. And some of the challenges there was a bit of a challenge to it. It was just right. It's good.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it as well. So the other VR game that I played that I was going to mention is I Expect You to Die 2.
I bought it because it was on sale this week.
Yeah. You did, or are you asking?
I bought it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I'll never play it. But
Well, I mean, I think the first one and the second one are among my favorite VR games for sure. Like, they're just a really good use of, it's like a spy setting, and like each level you're kind of working through a bunch of puzzles to accomplish a certain mission. And, this one is not that different. I don't think they really introduce anything particularly new, but there's a little bit more of a through line in terms of like a story from mission to mission. And they've got like a villain that you're kind of on the trail of along the way, voiced by Will Wheaton. So that's kind of adds a little bit of something to it. And I thought the last level was actually pretty like tense, and it kind of, again, one of those situations where it was kind of balanced perfectly, where I was like racing to get a bunch of stuff done against a clock, and I kind of just pulled it off, and it felt great. But I guess the one complaint I have about this game, and I probably said this about the first one, it's just like when you kind of know most of the things you have to do, and then you fail like on a step towards the end, and then you just got to go back and do it all over again and just repeat all those steps. It's a little bit annoying, but I don't know what else. Like, if they had checkpoints along the way, this would be such a short game. And time trials are kind of part of it too, like part of the replay value. So I don't know what you do about that, but that's kind of my only complaint. But other than that, I mean, definitely if you have a VR device and you see one of these games on sale, I recommend picking them up.
Cool. I think that's it for me. Anything else for you, Sean?
I don't know. That's about it for now.
All right.
I remember I did play one thing before I left. Total War Warhammer 3 came to Game Pass, and so I loaded it up. I was going through the tutorial. I was just about to go into my first fight. I click a button, and the game crashed on me. So it's about as far as I got, but I thought I was enjoying what I was playing, and I was like, okay, I'm trying to get into the story and figure out what this Warhammer thing's all about. And it really put a damper on my mood when the first like real gameplay, real active combat comes up, and the game crashed right away. So I don't know if I was trying to click something a little fast. Maybe I just caught it in like a weird pace or something.
Don't click too fast when you play games.
I know.
What are you doing?
You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. UI sometimes is a sneaky thing. So I might go back to it, but obviously if it crashes again, that will be the end.
Ball drop.
Bringing it back.
Drop that ball.
That actually reminds me, though. Has anybody else played, or I guess Frank, have you played any more of Skywalker Saga, Lego Star Wars at all? No? Because I've been hearing a lot of stuff about a lot of bugs in this game. And I mean, I haven't played any more since we last talked about it. But I think some people were talking about on the Discord, the Game Junk Discord. Nuno contacted me because him and his son were playing, and they actually basically had a game-breaking bug that still has not been fixed.
Balls drop.
On the Switch version. It sounds like there's definitely some issues there.
I am not surprised in the least. 8 out of 10 game. Amazing.
And, after all the rumors about, well, not really rumors, but all the talk about all the crunch and the game was delayed a bunch of times. And, you still got issues like this, which sucks. And probably is painful for the devs to hear, but...
Sounds like a game Frankness needs to put in like 10 to 15 more hours to be Game of the Year potential.
I don't. Yeah. What do you? Because of Returnal? Is that a Returnal dig?
Well, yeah. You just brought up the 8 out of 10 again. So I know that was a big sticking point before.
If I was a professional game reviewer and I had the time that is needed for that game to properly review it, there is no way it could be an 8 out of 10. There's no way.
Also, we should point out that the Discord was correct again. Frank shits on a game, and then the next week comes and says, you know what, it's actually not that bad.
I didn't shit on it. I tried to force feed it.
Wait, hang on, sorry. I'm talking about Kirby.
I didn't shit on it. I just said it's not that, exciting. It wasn't what I expected it to be. I was expecting something at the Mario Odyssey caliber, and it was just a lot more simple than I thought it was.
Sounds like you just need to chill out, dude.
Just go on vacation. My initial impressions.
Just need to go on vacation and relax a bit. You're taking these games way too seriously. They're just games, pal.
Oh, fuck. I had a good soundboard drop that I forgot to get for that. Oh, I could have... That was perfect. I'll have to use it another week.
Go on vacation. You need a break.
Tell me to relax and go on a vacation in a future episode.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right. I don't know. Hopefully, I don't think there's any big releases this week. But I know.
Bug Snacks, man. Bug Snacks DLC. Huge.
And it's coming to Game Pass, isn't it?
Yep.
Kids excited for that one?
Oh, yeah. They're real excited.
Cool. I love Bug Snacks. Other than that, we'll see if there's anything new to talk about next week. Check us out on youtube.com/GameJunk. Check out the Discord. There's a link in the YouTube. And the Game Junk Discord is a nice pace. It's followable. Unlike the Game Junk Discord, which is consuming way too much of my life. But Game Junk Discord, let's just amp it up a teeny bit. Just a tiny bit. A little more action. But other than that, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
This has been an amazing show.
Forgot about it. So let's do this no maestro of the soundboard like Jay.